Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Andrew. Andrew is from Vancouver in Canada. So let's see what Andrew has to say. Enjoy the interview. Yes, comfortable?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you, Andrew?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having this meeting. I appreciate it.
The pleasure is all mine. Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview today. Thank you.
No worries, no worries.
So tell me, how's your weekend going so far?
It's just getting started. I'm getting excited about World Cup. I'm a huge fan of football, so like I'm excited about the Big 32 that just happened. And
Yes.
other than that, just busy doing life stuff. How's your weekend going?
The same as well. I've been busy. I love the World Cup. Brazil, we went through as well to the next round. We're going to play on Monday against Japan.
Yeah,
So exciting now. I get a bit nervous now because if you lose it, you are out. So it's a bit nervous.
yeah. And then Japan is doing so good. Like they're doing really good. So
I,
I'm kind of
I
nervous
know.
myself. I'm rooting for Brazil as well. I'm rooting for
It's,
Brazil and then Argentina, but we'll see. We'll see.
yeah,
Are you
see.
Brazilian?
I'm from Brazil. This is from Brazil, yeah, but I live in London, the UK.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. No, we're neighbors. I'm from Guyana, so I'm up north.
Oh, you're from Guyana.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's where you're based right now or not?
Right now I'm in Vancouver. I work in the film industry, so and
Okay.
I'm a high performance coach. So I have to be out here to help out the next generation of action heroes and just help out in general. So yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And all your family are back in Ghana?
Some are in Toronto, some are in Guyana, some are in Trinidad. They're kind of spread around the world.
I see.
Um, Not really direct family. I'm adopted, so like they're more like the adopted family, but they're still, they're still close.
Totally. And what do you like the most about living in Vancouver?
What do I like the most about living in Vancouver?
Yeah.
A lot of the people, to be honest with you. I'm a city guy. Vancouver is it's a smaller size town. It's a lot of farm country and a lot of open land, and yeah, I love the big city. Like I went to acting school in New York, and I grew up in Toronto, and
Wow.
Vancouver is a little bit different. I'm only really here for the work and the people, but I mean, there's no nightlife, so it's different. And the culture is different. They're still opening up to all the worldly culture, so like the food is still very old school. So
Okay.
getting used to that, but I mean, it just comes with the territory, right? Not every place is gonna be perfect. So
Wow.
yeah.
So let's start the interview talking about your career in the movie industry and as a high performance coach as well. So tell me how everything started.
Okay, so long story short, I was in competitive taekwondo as a young child. So I was training for the Olympics, and to be real, let's be honest, I wasn't good enough. So I was in a tournament in Montreal, and 80s. This was totally 80s style. Like we're on a stage, we're doing our tournament fighting, and then I get a spinning back kick to my chest, and I fly off the stage like Superman's, like you know what I mean, arms and legs fly off the stage, and I hit a table, and the table explodes. Now I get
Wow.
off the table and I'm all messed up and everything, right? And I just look up and it was the judges' table. So William, there was like 4 or 5 judges sitting at that table. So all the coffee and all the paper and everything that went everywhere, that was their work for the day, right? So they're laughing, bro. They're laughing their brains out. And then I look up at them like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, no, 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 no. It's okay. It's okay. And then that's when like they walked it to me and they said, hey, you know what, man? Like a career as an Olympic like Taekwondo guy, you're probably not going to get as, but you fall really well. And the fact that you weren't hurt, like flying off the stage, hitting a table, hitting the cement, barely any body armor, because in Taekwondo, everything's in the front, right? So we got the chest and we got the head thing, but there's nothing in the back that protects you. So I landed all back. So I had a coordinator at the time, a stunt coordinator, come up and he gave me his business card and he said, train at this martial arts facility. And that's kind of how the ball started rolling. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't really expecting film or media or anything like that. I was just wanting to be a super athlete, but it's just how God works, right? Like, you think you have a path for one thing and then it just kind
Totally.
of leads to another, right? And then yeah, just to make condense it all because I don't want to ramble too long, but from there I just you know how it's like in South America, like we aren't as gifted and fortunate as a lot of other individuals.
Yeah.
So I had to train myself to be a high performance coach in 4 different events for the Olympics and 2 high performance events. So it's
Oh,
trampoline, men's gymnastics, women's gymnastics, and taekwondo was my Olympic events as coaching certification, and then
okay.
parkour and martial arts tricks is my international certifications as a coach. So I had
Amazing.
to like get those certifications and train myself because I couldn't afford private lessons and I couldn't afford training. So I spent about 7 years just busting my tail, and eventually I moved out to Vancouver and got unionized, and now just teaching the next generation of our performers. So that's kind of
Wow.
how it all started. Yeah.
I love it. And I love the way that life takes us in different directions, just navigating through life and you find your path. And I get that. I think that's the beauty of life for sure.
Yeah. Thank
Amazing.
you.
Andrew, before I start the interview, I always ask my guests on the show to bring something that means a lot to them. So that could be a gift, a present, an object or a picture. Is there anything you could share with us?
Actually, yeah. Hold on one second. Yeah, I had it on standby, so I didn't want to just like throw it up. But yeah, here we go. Here's the first thing. It's an official Avatar stunt team apparel from when I worked on the show. So season 2 is coming out right now, and season 3 is on the way. But I worked on season 1. They didn't bring me in for season 2 and 3 because my character died. But to actually officially make the stunt team in like Hollywood production and Netflix and all that, that was really huge, and that was an accomplishment that like just being a poverty kid from like South America and then making it to a big film set.
Oh,
It was inspiring to myself and a lot of other people. You're gonna notice that there are also wristbands on here. I was on another show. It's a very popular show now. It's the show Fire Country, and I was on that show for about 3 seasons, and they gave me a whole bunch of swag. So they gave me like toques, they gave me toques and T-shirts, and they gave me all sorts of other stuff and backpacks. So,
wow.
yeah, I know it's materialistic. It's not
No,
like money wise, but it's kind of like a trophy personally in a person's career, just to look
wow.
back and reflect, and just see where we come from and how far we could go. And
Totally.
I'm 42, 43 now, and there's so much more growth in this career, right? There's so much more to accomplish, and you may not book every gig, but there's with the mentors that I had in the industry, they said every next opportunity, next audition, it's like a bus you're waiting for, right? And you might not, maybe the 85B comes up and you're waiting for the 90. You just let that pass, and then the 73 comes by, and then the
Yeah.
16. Eventually the 90 will come up. You'll hop on that and you'll get your time to shine, right? So yeah, that was an item that I really wanted to share with you. I kind of like hung it up and made it like a display on my wall. So yeah, that's something very true and dear to me. And with that particular show, you had to be a certain particular culture and certain skill set.
Yeah.
So I'm mixed with a whole bunch of cultures, and fortunately, that mixture came through into that. So it was a
Amazing.
blessing. Yeah.
Amazing. Andrew, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
Yes, for sure.
Amazing. Welcome to William in the Magic Box.
You're the
So I have here,
magic box. I love it.
I have here my best friend. Of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question. Okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, before I start the interview, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer, always can take another one, okay?
No worries.
Amazing. First question is, what would your ideal life look like?
All right. So that's a good question. I was actually talking about this the other day with a couple of my like religious friends. My grandparents were very important to me. My grandfather adopted me, and my grandmother was the one that kind of showed the love. Like she brought the community together. She was very
Mhm.
protective. Where I'm going at with this is eventually later in the future, what I want to do is I want to be able to generate enough resources so I could open up like a shelter uh,
Mhm.
for either abused women or children in my grandma's name as a way of just
Wow.
showing honor and love. And then I want to create like like an education center or a high performance facility in my grandpa's name, just to show like his perspective on like giving people chances. So yeah, the long run, it would be nice to run a facility or a nonprofit and just be able to do that and just give back to the community, because the community has always been so good to me. And that's all, like I'm mixed Black, Chinese, Indian, and Wai tribe. Like, like out in South America, like there's so much
Yeah,
mixture and so
yeah,
much history out there, right? Like
yeah.
when you're talking about like just the indigenous people, or you're talking about just like the slavery or the process of all that, it'd be just great to like just give back to all the communities, and especially being out here in Canada. There's so much culture. It's almost like they've kind of become their own version of Brazil. If you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Brazil, you could find blue-eyed, blonde hair Brazilians, and then on the other side, you can look on the other end of the beach, and there's dark-skinned Brazilians, blacker than Africans, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, like I got nothing but love for all the cultures, and if I could do that, like either traveling around the world, or if I could do that, like just hitting one major city at a time and being able to contribute that'd be a long time goal that I'd like to accomplish.
And what's the meaning of life for you when you think about life?
It's just to be a free artist. Like I'm not trying to get too political on the left or the right, but at the end of the day, like a lot of us are artists. What we do is something that comes from a lot of passion and a
Yeah.
lot of drive. And a lot of us have our own things that we're dealing with. Like the saying is, you got to be very kind to people these days, and you never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
So the goal and the passion in life is just to be kind and share positive perspectives, and just try to be the best human being you could be. So that way you could set a good example for the future, and just set a good tone for everybody else around you.
Amazing. Very good. Next question. Let's do it.
I love it. I love the energy. I love samba dancing. Yes, sir.
All right. Next question is, what did you want to be growing up?
What did I want to be growing up? That's a great question. I actually wanted to be I wanted to be like a famous artist. Like kind
Okay.
of like yeah, like I wanted to like either paint, or I wanted to like sculpt when I was young. Eventually I tried to get into comic book art. That's something I did do. I went to school for two things. I went to school for game design engineering, and I went to school for journalism and film studies. I
Wow.
wasn't a good enough artist. That's another thing about like how life is. As a kid, I didn't really have a lot of guidance or training, so I kind of
Mhm.
was self-taught with my drawing, and I became a respectable artist. But realistically, like I'm not gonna say it's not late. Like I could still pick it up, but my main goal was to be either like an artist or animator or sculptor. But I guess I just do that physically now as like a performer. So it worked
Okay.
out. It worked out to be positive. Yeah, it worked out to be perfect.
And what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Andrew?
Uh, that's a tough question. I'd have to say just helping people. For me,
Okay.
it's always helping other people first. Because I always remember when I was that young, hungry entrepreneur, athlete, child person that I just wanted somebody that was more senior and more experienced, just to reach out and just kind of guide me.
Mhm.
Like now when I coach a lot of the kids that I coach, I even tell the parents, I'm like, there's just one rule that I have for you, and that's that child has to have the passion to be better than what I was,
Wow.
because it's not fair to the other kids that come from less fortunate places that could use that expertise and that guidance, right? So yeah, just giving back to the community. And I noticed once you're for the people and you're for the community, those gigs will come to you. People will
Yeah.
call you and say, "Hey, you know what? I got you in mind for this project because you helped out so and so with this, and you brought up their self esteem." Like, self esteem is a huge thing, and self confidence is a huge thing, and especially like outside of the Western world where the privileges aren't there, you really have to, you really see how much you value these things, if that makes
Mhm.
sense, right? Like you see the little things, like when you see a kid in soccer class or in baseball or in hockey out here in the Western world, where it involves like a lot of funding and a lot of backing. And then when you look back at like a third world country and we're playing with like a couple garbage bags just wrapped up and
Yeah.
barefoot on the street, cement, like glass and metal on the, you know what I mean? So when I see that kind of stuff, I realize like I got to take advantage of the things that we have fortunate, and just make sure that these kids, these new age kids, realize that, right? So yeah,
Totally.
that's the message that I like to send out, and that's what makes me happy as Andrew. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
get your point. Back in Brazil, remember, I was playing volleyball for years, and I remember sometimes, we were playing like in the street and we organized things. We made to happen, We didn't have, the ability to be supported, to have a place, a great place. Just when I was at school, it was okay, or training. But when we want to play, we need to find a way, and there was not always there, So I get your point for sure. I understand your
yeah,
point. Amazing.
yeah. Finding a way. That's a good way to put that. I love that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Next question. Let's do it. Yes, you can always dance with me. Before the next
Yay.
question, what's the biggest joy of being a performer? What do you like the most about being working in the movie industry?
Um. Well, it's the whole, what everybody dreams of is the big lights and the big shows, and it's one thing to be making your own projects and going out and kind of just getting it out there in the world, and then it's another thing to get picked up by a major studio to play a certain role or to do a certain thing. And it's day and night, and it's very inspiring. Like once you get into these big studios and you start seeing what the potential is and what you're part of when you're part of something so big and special. Like when I was on Fire Country, I didn't realize Fire Country was the number one show globally for about 18 months.
Wow.
And when the actors were going around just on vacation or just going to award shows or venues or events, they were getting approached by foreigners. Like one of them went to Malaysia and they just got completely like, Hollywood superstar kind of thing, right? The treatment. But what I'm getting at with this is it's just, it's incredible to see the difference and what they invest everything into and how much they invest into you when you're brought into that category. There is a budget that involves your placement being there, not just you getting paid, right? And then it's also the mass influence and just the recognition and the credibility. Like in life, a lot of us really try hard to get the respect that we deserve, especially when we put so many years, especially decades, into what we're doing. And you kind of hope that like people would see it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's really once as you see that you're accepted in something so like tight. It's like making a sports team, right? It's like making a sports team. Like you got drafted and you're like, oh my God, I'm part of the Blue Jays. It's the exact same feeling, right? So the the exclusivity, I can't even say the word right now, but being exclusive in that group of people is something that really got to my heart. And it was well deserved to because every time there's a union meeting, they say, guys, being part of the stunt union, it's like you spent 10 to 20 years of your life dedicated to yourself to get to this point. And then once
Yeah.
you get to this point, that's when your journey starts, right? So when I made it to the Avatar team and when I worked on Fire Country, that was the eye opener that, oh my God, all these years of training alone and studying all this craft and nobody really being there. Nobody really showed up to a graduation. Nobody ever showed up to my black belt inaugurations. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like these were all silently earned. And to know that like, oh my God, I'm finally part of something that's huge and massive, it was worth that.
Wow.
So
Totally
yeah.
amazing. Next question is, when have you been the most happy?
When grandma was alive. Without a
Oh,
doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. When grandma was alive. Because the reason why I say that, especially everybody that asked me that question, it's like, that's a very common question, by the way. But, when, like, grandma's influence was so vital to my career. She gave up a lot of her pension as an old lady so I could do martial arts lessons. And she walked me to the martial arts studio. It wasn't a close walk. It was like 5 kilometers plus. So
wow.
like right after school, she'll be there. She'll walk me there. She'll make sure that I have my little snacks. And she was always so supportive. Like she was the only one when I looked over, she was cheering for me. And she would always be there. Every single little certification, every single stripe that I got on my belt, every time that I learned a new trick or I all the failures I went through, like her food and her warmth and her comfort and her just being a great person was the most inspiring thing in the world. And that's what made me realize that like it's not just about you. You know, it's about making people feel as accepted and as loved as possible. So
Wow.
that was the happiest time. And also my grandpa too as well. He was a person that was very honest. Like it could be harsh at times, but it was honest. If something was blue and you're trying to say no, it's green, it's purple, no, he would say, look, sit down, it's blue, and you just have to accept that it's blue, and that's just
Wow.
how it is. And that's something that I really cherish now. And that's when I meet people, I get really happy when it's an honest, pure, loving individual. Right? It could be I don't care if it's left, right, whatever gender, whatever, anything. It doesn't matter as long as you're honest and you're pure. I got nothing but love for you.
Do you believe that happiness is a choice?
I feel like it could be a choice. It all depends on the person's perspective and upbringing.
Mhm.
I think it's more of a mind state. You know, it's like if you got a bag of empty Coke bottles or Coke cans, that could be trash to somebody. But to
Yeah,
another person, they could see that. They could cut it up and make a whole bunch of like trinkets, or they could make jewelry out of it, or they could melt it down and make it into something else.
totally.
So happiness is all your perspective and how and what you value in your life. If you don't, first off, respect and love yourself and love the reflection that you see in the mirror, happiness is going to be a very difficult thing to get.
Totally.
And especially in these times with the economy crashing and all these political things going on and so much segregation between people and the division of life and the community now, yeah, like you got to find your happiness with the people and with how you make the people feel.
Totally. Well, great one. 2 questions left. Let's do
Yeah, no
it.
worries. Take your time.
You're
I
good
love
there,
it.
I can see. All right. Next question is, do you consider yourself to be a spiritual person and how?
Yeah, very spiritual. I'm a proud Anglican Christian, and that just goes with like the Caribbean, South American culture. Like,
Okay.
you know, it's like it's just because a lot of us like there's a history of like 400 to 500 years of slavery in South America, and I'm not trying to like go on about this too much, but it was family, community, and religion that kept us positive,
Yeah.
especially in our harsh times, in our harshest times, especially. So I'm a very religious person in my own personal realm, but when I'm out in the public, that's just something I kind of just keep to myself, unless I know there's other Christians or other religious people I could bounce those ideas and share those moments and parts of joy and scriptures with, right? So yeah,
Wow.
religion's a very important thing. I think you don't have to be religious, but just the common human decency things like don't kill people and don't cheat on things and things like that. You need to have those rules in order to create good people in the society, right? So
And what will be the title of your memoir one day?
of impossible is nothing.
Wow, good one.
Yeah, because like I'm a stuntman for film, so I'm not really an actor. Now I'm trying to get into the acting stuff because the community's saying, "Hey, you're getting older and you should try new things." But when I was a young, sprung athlete, most stunt guys are big people. Like when you look at all these superhero movies, they're between like five. Like a male is between 5'8" to 6'4", and a female is between 5'6" to 5'10". Like when you look at these people on camera, they are heroically big, right? So myself, I'm 5'5", 130 pounds. So when when I'm asked how did you get into this industry, I tell them it's not because of my looks and it's not because of my size. It's because of my heart, man. It's like I didn't accept no as an answer, and I didn't accept this place doesn't belong for you as an answer. Like as long as there's a community and as long as you have something to contribute to that community, you will find a home in it. And
Wow.
it doesn't mean that everybody in the community is going to love you or agree with you necessarily, but that's why unions exist and that's why teams exist, right? So yeah, that was a huge thing for me is just getting accepted and understanding that and giving it back. So
Beautiful. Amazing. Last question. Ready?
yes, sir.
Do it. Last one. Before the last question, as a high performance coach, I'm sure you had a lot of situations, memories that for you it's been very special. But can you share one of a situation that you have through your career that you hold close to your heart?
As a coach?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a lot actually. I'm gonna say there's actually it's a tie between two.
Okay.
It's when I help out there's a program that I help run on the side where we coach and teach neurodivergent kids or kids with special needs or uh, have some sort of disabilities. I just love being involved in that program because those kids they're they're functioning human beings. They have feelings and they have an incredibly high degree of intelligence, so they pick up things very well. Now, just because their motor skills are not as fine-tuned as ours, it doesn't mean that they can't do what we're doing. It just takes a little time for them to load that information before they become functional productive athletes. And
Yeah.
where I'm going with that is there are a few athletes that I have coached in the past that it was a rough start for them where a handstand was the most challenging thing in the world, and then now like 2 years later they're inviting me over to their dance graduation
Wow.
recitals or their competitions. Like one of my most recent kids, we spent about 18 months just working on one skill, and now he throws that skill at everything. And he recently made it to the World International Dance Competition in I think it's in Ireland this year. So it's
Okay.
him competing against 11,000 kids, and he actually has a really good shot. I think he was ranked 80 or 90 or something like that. So he's got a really good chance going into this event, and just spending that journey with him in the past 20 months with him and his parents and his grandparents, and just seeing him grow from like this kid that's just distracted all the time to just a locked in focused athlete. And he knows, hey, when that music plays, I got to get the job done, and then
Wow.
when the job's done, I could be a silly kid all over again, right? So
Beautiful.
just teaching just teaching the new generation, whether it's like really young kids or adults trying to become stunt performers, just getting them to get that locked in focus. Focus is a huge thing, and it takes a lot of self awareness, and it takes a
Hmm.
lot of self confidence. And my big thing is when I'm coaching, it's all about self confidence. I really don't care about if I come off harsh or nice as a coach. Uh, Sometimes my relationships with the guardians or the parents could be not the same eye or not the same views. But
Right.
at the end of the day, the goal is the most important thing, which is building up our people's confidence and making sure that they're better than me. They have to be better than
Wow.
me because I'm
Wow.
retired now. I'm a retired athlete now. I can't go in there and do all the work. They got to go in there and do it themselves. And whether it's in film or whether it's sport or dance, the world is their oyster. We're just going to get older and see that beautifulness that happens. So yeah.
Great. Amazing. Last question for you is, what is one belief you had to unlearn in order to reach the level you are at today?
That's a really good question. Wow, you kind of threw me off with that one. So what's one belief I had to unlearn
Yeah.
in order to get? Ooh, you really got me on that one. One belief I had to unlearn. Well, I guess I mentioned it earlier that sometimes how you look, you can't judge a book by its cover,
No.
right? There's been so many performers I've met in this industry that you'd look at and be like, this guy's a total dweeb. And that's like the top motorcycle person in the city that does all the wheelies and all the motorcycles, but they look like a book nerd or they look like a librarian. Or you'd meet somebody that's like a total like biker looking guy, tattoos and da 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 and everything, and that's the makeup artist. And you thought that was
Yeah.
going to be your coworker, and no, 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 that's the person putting on your makeup. So you can't always judge a book by its cover, right? And
I like that.
that's right, and that's something, especially in the highlights of my career, when I look back at like when I made all these little wins in my chapters to get to where I am. Like there's been so many times like taekwondo tournaments or like just stunt training events where it's like I'd be the smallest guy in the event, like 5'5", 130 pounds. Like who is this guy? He's like the size of a teenager, right? But then moving at an elite level and performing at a class level and impressing the people that I needed to impress against all these giants was a huge lesson to learn in life, and that
Wow.
was really just from the blessings of my grandma and grandpa, because they knew at a young age that I wasn't going to be a big athlete. They didn't even think I was going to be an athlete. They thought I was going to be an artist, right? But
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's just yeah, never judge a book by its cover. That's a
great.
big life lesson to learn.
For sure. Right, so then, yet, let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to
Okay,
say
all right,
something.
let's do it.
Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money.
Accessibility. It helps you get access to many things.
Family.
Connection.
Fear.
Mm, it's a monster you have to get over.
Once again?
A titan. So like a colossus or a titan. Yeah,
I
yeah.
see. One word for life.
Accelerate. You have to keep moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Love.
Acceptance.
Okay. Religion.
Make it into one word.
Yeah.
Religion. Peace.
Sex.
Fun.
Politics.
Headache.
Friendship.
Sorry, say that again.
Friendship.
Um,
Desire.
that's strength.
Regret.
Lesson.
Success.
Ambitious.
Wish.
Hope.
Happiness.
Perspective.
One word for Guyana.
Mosquitoes. Amazon. Amazon.
One word for Vancouver.
Hollywood.
One word for stuntman.
Life.
One word for high performance coach.
Help.
One word for the movie industry.
Ooh, I'll probably get in trouble, so I'm just gonna go with gigs.
And the last one now. One word for martial arts.
Discipline.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet a best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend. Define Andrew in one positive and one negative word only. What your best friend would say about you?
Uh, I'm friends with everybody,
Okay.
and sometimes I talk too much.
What's your star sign astrology?
What's my astrology sign? It's I'm a Gemini. I'm a
Gemini.
Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
What's
play now.
yours?
I'm Scorpio.
Oh wow. Okay, don't get you mad.
Let's play now, Andrew, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But amazing. But before you ask me the question, Andrew, you talk so dearly about your grandparents. Do you think one day you're gonna meet them again?
Spiritually, yes, but nothing in life is guaranteed, and all we have right now is just that memory to keep us connected.
Beautiful. Okay, Andrew, can you ask me a question now?
Okay, if you were to work on any show of any type, what show would you want to be on and why?
If I could be in one show, wow. Great question. Great question. Love your question. There is okay. I'm gonna say the first one that came to my mind, which it doesn't exist anymore. It David Letterman show.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it. I don't know. He was so sarcastic. The way he was. I don't know. There was something about him that I liked it. When I watched some interviews, I just liked he was funny, serious, intelligent, and I just loved the show itself. But there is one show here in England called Breakfast. It's like a morning show where they talk about what's going on in the world. It's like a journalism. It's, the kind of cover what's happening in the world like early morning, and sometimes they interview some people. What they are doing to their lives, this and that. So I've always admired this program because it's very informative. Yeah, you get a lot of information from there, and at the same time as well, there's some entertainment as well in this show. So it's called Breakfast. So it's every morning on BBC, and I don't know. I remember when I arrived in London. I remember like, you know. put the TV on and you're live, like, talking things, and somehow you starting your day, you listen to the news, what's happening in the world, somehow it's got my attention. And when they are very cultural as well, they talk about the culture, movies, and all of that. And I think that I was like, oh, it would be nice one day to be there, to somehow be interviewed or somehow share a little bit about anything. So I think, yeah, I would go for David Letterman show that doesn't exist anymore, and I'd love to somehow be at Breakfast. Is this program on BBC every morning, Monday to Friday? Yeah,
Yeah, you might end up on that show, man, with everything you're doing.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Still hope one day to be there and talk about the show. I'd love to be there and talk about the Magic Box. I think it'd be a pleasure to be there for sure.
Nice.
Can't wait one day.
Actually, I have a second question too.
Okay.
What inspired you to create the Magic Box?
Great question. Through the COVID, here in England, you could leave the house once a day for exercise during the lockdown. So you could leave the house during an hour per day for you to go for a run or be outdoors. And I was going for a run every afternoon for an hour. And one of those runs, this idea came along, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to research some questions. I'm going to create some questions, and I'm just going to invite random people around the globe. That's how I started the show. But the big inspiration for me for the show is about people. I
Nice.
love people. I love to see people on the globe, sharing their memories, their struggles, their happiness, their victories, anything about their lives. I think I learn every day when I sit here to talk to people around the globe. Everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has something to share. And so, yeah, the big inspiration for me is about people. I couldn't sit here on my own and do the show. I need, extraordinary people, sharing their memories. And, I think it's amazing. So, yeah, the big inspiration for the show for sure is people. I love people.
Oh,
Yeah, great one.
gorgeous.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Oh, I loved it. It was great. Sorry I messed up on the timing. I don't know.
No,
Maybe I put
it's
in
okay.
Google wrong or something. Jesus.
That's okay. Don't be silly. It's fine. Just because I couldn't do an hour after because now I'm gonna go to see a movie tonight in the cinema.
Oh,
So I'm gonna see. So I couldn't. But tomorrow, if it couldn't be today, tomorrow I could do it this time. So no worries at all. I'm still on time, so it's all good.
I
Before you
got
go,
one last question for you. I got one last question
okay,
for you.
sure.
How are you? Are you excited about the whole AI and robotics change? And are you preparing for that, or how do you feel about that?
Great question. I think AI, to be very honest to you, I think something that it's gonna be here. It's not gonna go away. You know what I mean? It's here. I think we need to adapt ourselves. The other day, I had a gentleman on the show, and he works with AI, and he said something interesting. He said, "William, AI is not taking people's job. AI are taking is gonna take jobs from people who doesn't educate themselves on AI, who's not preparing for that." So he
Right.
made me think about it. So I think it's something that you cannot run away. It's
Yeah.
something. It's there. It's here. We are using it. I think it becomes like it's part of at work. You have there. It's impossible for you to avoid it. So what I
Mhm.
believe is, I think that, but I'm scared at the same time. I think we are losing a little bit. I don't know how far it can go, and it may be if we're gonna regret one point. You know what I mean? So that scares me a little bit about that as well, because sometimes I'm just scared that we're gonna lose control of it, and one point we're gonna become dependent of that. So that's
Right.
what scares a little bit. However, I see the good and the bad in both. You know what I mean? So I just hope that somehow we're gonna be able to navigate through it and still have the same life that we have. You know what I mean? That's not a big change. So I'm positive about it, but at the same time as well, to be honest with you, I feel scared about sometimes every day something new. For example, the other day, a gentleman, a lovely man here on the show, he sent me a clip, for example. I didn't know that. So the show, the Magic Box, of course, is doing in English. Yeah, I do the interviews in English, sometimes in Portuguese as well.
Yeah.
And he said to me that nowadays there is a program on YouTube that literally sent me a clip of the same interview, a clip of me doing interview with him. We start in English.
Mhm.
In a minute, he put to Spanish. In a minute, to other language and Hindu as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But the scary thing was his mouth. You're talking in this in my voice, but in that language. I felt it was so strange for me to see myself talking in another language, but with my voice, and I wasn't me. Oh my God, that for me, it freaked me out a little bit. But I said, oh my God, you know what I mean? So You see, sometimes it's a bit scary because, I don't know if you are completely prepared for that,
Yeah,
but just hope that somehow we're going to be able to navigate through both, you know what I mean, and somehow understand. So let's hope. But I understand nowadays we need it. It's not that we need it, but it becomes more helpful, you know what I mean, with a lot of situations, which is great. I think modernity always, it's something that we should embrace it. We need to embrace because it cannot run away anymore. It's here. It's here. You need
right.
to embrace it. So there's no other way. You cannot like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to. I don't want to listen. No, no, it's not about that. You need to educate yourself. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I get your point, but it's scary. At the same time, it's scary for sure.
It is. It is. It's like when supercomputers first came out, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God,
What's
like
that? Yeah,
the internet, it's gonna, and then the internet created the most amount of millionaires in our generation, right? So,
totally, absolutely.
I,
AI is here, so let's just hope
yeah,
that somehow we're gonna be in control of it somehow. You know what I mean? So just
yeah.
hope. Let's see. Before you go, Andrew, if you can share a positive message, a quote, or anything that you live by.
Hmm. Um. Yeah. So, whatever you want to become, just it's it's gonna take a lot of sacrifice. You have to be prepared to sacrifice, and that means you have to sacrifice time, resources, and you have to sacrifice a little bit of your mental health. As crazy as that sounds, if you really want to become something, like there's so many people that I know that, oh my God, I want to be an actor. I want to be a lead actor on a show. And they sacrificed the time. They trained. They had to take time away from family and friends. They had
Totally.
to take the years. They had to go in the booth. They had to put in the time. They had to create all sorts of indies out of their own pocket. They had to
Yeah,
lose more than they had to win.
yeah,
So you have to, if you really want something, you have to be prepared for the sacrifice, and
totally.
you have to really embrace it. Like you
Yeah,
have to really understand the importance that, sure, I may not have my union credits now, or I may not have my footage now, or I may not have the connections I have now, but the things that I'm doing to build that engine is going to create something that propels you into something really, really big. And never stop learning is going to be the second part. Never stop growing and never stop learning, because once as you've hit that plateau where you're like, oh, I want to be a professional artist, or I want to be a professional, I want to be a doctor. Once you become the doctor, it doesn't end there.
no,
Now you have to interact with other doctors, and things are
yeah,
constantly evolving. Like, say, for
yeah,
instance, like you learned how to do stitches. Well, guess what, buddy? You're going to learn how to do surgery eventually, because now you have an incredible skill that could help with those kind of moments. So
totally,
everything is like a tree, it connects to each other and it just grows and expands into something bigger that you don't see as just a player when there's a huge big game going on around you, right? So
totally.
um,
Yeah,
just become the best that you could be as an individual, so you could contribute your excellence to a incredible project.
I love that. We never get there. There's always something for us to learn, to grow, to understand. So we never get there. I get your point for sure.
Correct. Yeah. In the
Amazing.
great, right? Just like Ronaldinho, right? He
Totally. Yeah.
never stopped. He always became something better and better and better. And, you know,
100%.
yeah.
Amazing.
Hey, no worries. And William, I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing what you're doing. You've actually interviewed a couple of my friends, and they referred me to you. So that's
Oh,
why I
wow.
kind of bugged you a bit on social. And no, I really love what you're doing, and
Thank you
keep
so much.
going, man. You're doing a great job. And
Thank you.
if you want, I will reach out to a couple buddies and get you some more interviews
Please,
as well too.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. If they want to do, just ask them to DM on Instagram a message and just tell them that they know you, they come from you. So it's, you know what I mean? So I know who they come from. Okay?
No, it's perfect, and you're gonna agree. I think I see something really big for you, where you almost have like your own like TV series, well, not TV series, but like hosting show. You know what I mean? And
Thank you so much, Andrew.
in the times that we're living in right now, like your potential is so big.
Thanks.
Like you're doing
Appreciate
so
it.
well right now, and your potential is going to be so big, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And
Thank you.
if you ever need anything, I'm just a phone call or a text away. I really don't care if it's union, non-union, if you're famous, if you're not famous. It's all about just the human connection, the growth,
Totally.
and bringing awareness to the community, right? So,
Beautiful. It means a lot to me what you just said. Thanks so much, Andrew.
well, we're all sacrificing, right? And I don't want anybody
100%.
to ever feel like that. Oh, I did it for them. It's not.
I
I just
did.
did it for them. You did it for yourself. You created this incredible platform. You've
Thank you so
interviewed some incredibly talented people, and You know, if I had flowers, I'd give them to you, man. You're doing a great
Oh,
job.
thank you so much. Thank you so
No
much,
worries.
Andrew.
No
Enjoy your
worries.
weekend. Keep in touch, and I see you sometime in Vancouver, in Brazil, in England. You keep
Who
in touch.
knows?
We are
We'll
connected.
play.
We are connected now.
Hey, no worries. We're connected for life, man. Thank you so much.
Take care, okay? Enjoy your weekend, okay? Take
You
care.
too. Go
Bye.
Brazil.
Yes. Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.